Wisham.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How's everything?
Not bad at all. Thank you very much for taking my call. Certainly, I really enjoy your program when I know when it is on. I'm just switching channels.
Thank you.
It's a very interesting conversation that you're having. My brother, the guest, I certainly appreciate what you're saying, and I respect what you're doing as well. I think too many of us, we talk about certain problems, and we don't do anything. I'm a CPA, attorney, college professor, and I know I need to do more things. But the question I have, and certainly I don't understand exactly what, to the extent that you're saying that you're going to solve poverty. But one thing that caught me that I want to ask is that if someone is poor in the project, uneducated, not doing more for themselves, and yet we have a donor that's going to pay for this person's groceries. Are you saying this is a one-time event, or I'm going to pay for your groceries the rest of your life? I'm going to pay your rent the rest of your life. I'm going to pay your health care the rest of your life. I was very concerned about that because it seems to me that even though it's an honorable situation to do that, but I think we need to have something that's going to help that individual, not just for the children, but for themselves to get themselves out of poverty. And I think that's going to be education, self-help, and certainly programs as well.
Well, thanks for asking the question, Wisham. I'll turn it over to Daryl and see if he can give me an answer.
He's absolutely right. In terms of, there's been a lot of concern of, is this going to create a massive welfare state? And the easy answer is no, all right? In terms of how the system works, it's a voluntary system. It's no guarantee to the recipient that a donor is always going to make a donation. And the donor has the option at any given point in time to cut off donations. You understand? So using the system of UPC barcodes and so forth, we actually can see how a recipient uses the donation that was given. So let's say the recipient receives $100 for groceries, but they walk in a store and they buy $75 of alcohol, beer, and everything else except for what the donor wanted their money to go to. We can actually take that transaction information and communicate it back to our donors. So the donors at that point can decide, all right, well, this person doesn't value my donation enough, I'll give it to someone else, all right? Now, on another level to where we get around the whole, is this a welfare state issue, is empowerment. I created something on the website that's called the Good Deeds account, okay? And basically what it is, it answers the paradox of volunteerism in America right now. If you go to, I think it's volunteermatch.org, you'll see that they list that 79% of all of their volunteers are white women. Now, what are we all to think? Are white women the only ones who care about changing the world and affecting, ending poverty and so forth? No. Basically what this is telling us as a statistic is that these people are stable enough from their homes and their, husbands' employment and so forth to be able to go out and volunteer. Whereas the poor person, if you ask them to volunteer, they'll say, this reason, that reason of why they can't. But let's think about it. We're asking a poor person who's worried about food, groceries, rent, diapers, to stop and clean up the local neighborhood for no money. I mean, it's not really a practical thing. So to get past that, I created the Good Deeds account to where we have the family that's living in poverty. They go out, they do volunteer hours with, say, an organization, the Red Cross. The Red Cross would then report to my organization how many hours were worked. Red Cross would say, hey, this person worked 10 hours. At this point, because PDO is a non-profit charity, we can go to our corporate partners, Google, Facebook, and all the other big names and say, hey, look, we have a person who's screened and registered as being below the poverty line, who is trying to supplement their income through volunteerism. Instead of doing bad things in the neighborhood and so forth, they actually volunteer with the Red Cross for 10 hours. How about you, Google, billion-dollar corporation, make a tax-deductible donation of $10 per hour to us, and then we use our website to guide that donation directly to the person's Good Deeds account. Once that $100 reaches the Good Deeds account, the recipient can actually print out their own gift certificates for social welfare items. So basically what I'm creating is a form of anytime employment for people who are living in poverty.
Well, I want to come back and talk a little bit more about the internet, because I know there's always questions about the internet security and things of that matter. Got to take a quick break. You're talking about poverty'sdemise.org. Go out and check out the website, and you'll see more of what we're talking about. But we're going to take a quick break and come back with Daryl Penrice, Executive Director, when we return right after this.
What's your perspective? Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
Kind of have that ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. I might as well just drop out.
So I bounced from like foster home to foster home.
Dropped out of high school my junior year.
I was hanging out with some people now I realize I shouldn't have. They join gangs, start doing drugs, try to sell drugs. It distracts you from everything around you. You're always having to watch your back. You can't really be yourself.
The one person who really got me to go back into school was my mom, my mother.
My parents were the people that helped me the most. I need them to know that it really does help me, that they're there for me.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Runs the show, entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective with shines of light, cause it might make a difference in someone else's life.
Make a difference. What's your perspective? Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective?
Let them know it's God or something, you know what I mean?
We're back here on Perspectives. Daryl Penrice, our guest here. We're talking about poverty'sdemise.org, a website that is geared to really helping to solve the crisis of poverty, not just locally, but internationally. All you got to do is click on the website to find some more information about it. As we were sharing about some of the statistics, 14.2% of New York City residents are actually below the poverty line, and as a whole, New York State ranks 18th of all states in the United States with in regards to the poverty line. An amazing statistic there. New Jersey in the tri-state area coming in at 47, and number one leading the nation, Mississippi, with 21.6% of people literally living below the poverty line. And as we were talking a little bit about trying to have a solution to the problem, poverty'sdemise.org is a website that's guaranteed to linking donors up with recipients locally and internationally to help to end poverty. And so Daryl Penrice has been sharing a little with us, and as we were sharing a little bit, I want to go back to the graphic that we threw up on the screen earlier, give viewers who might just be tuning in an opportunity to see exactly how the system works, how it works from what we call, quote unquote, a virtual dad to a virtual daughter to a virtual son. And so let's throw up that graphic in just a few seconds, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically, I created a system of what I call virtual adoption, to where
And here we see it.
we can say donors and recipients, but that's kind of formal charity language. But what I'm trying to do is create kind of a virtual family scenario to where, you know, even though you might be in California somewhere, you can virtually adopt a child living in poverty, say in Mississippi, you know. And once that child is, you know, adopted or bookmarked, you can literally provide anything the kid needs in terms of social welfare items